I've been asked to make a video about my equipment and what I use to make my streams. The heart of the whole thing is going to be my MPC Live II, and that actually does the sequencing and some additional instruments. So I'll just run through how I started and what I went through for my first stream. So basically, I'm running the stream now, but I have the mixer is turned down for everything. So what I did was I programmed my Moog Grandmother for a bass line. So I'll let you listen to that real quick. So that's on this channel. And so I just, faded in and faded out as necessary. And then while it's running, I can do the cutoff. And mess around with the reverb a little bit. So that's the bass. And then I started with a pad. And the way I did the pad was I switched over to use the Blofeld patch called Bounty. It's a pad. And so let me show you how I did that. I'm going to go to my main screen here. And I'm going to flip through here and look at the Blofeld. So the Blofeld, I'm using the MIDI input port is the MPC pads. So that's running the Blofeld. And what I've done is I've set it up for MIDI output channel 1. Blofeld can do up to 12 or 16 channels at once. I'm only using one channel of it. And then I set it up to bank, this bank most significant bit, number 3, puts it on bank D. So it's actually the 4th bank. So 0, it starts as 0 index. So A, B, C, and D. And then I changed the program to program 0, which is 001, which is the bounty. So that's the pads. So then on the mixer, the next thing is the Wavestate. So the Wavestate, what I've done is I've created a set list with the sounds that I'm using. So you could go 2, 3. These are the patches that I use during the stream. And the way I change those is on my MPC, if you go down to Wavestate, you'll see the Wavestate, its MIDI input port here is blank, but that's because I have the MPC or the Wavestate set for, if you'll see, it's set for local control is on, which means that everything that I do on the Wavestate is pretty much just the Wavestate. So let me turn the volume up a little bit, and then I can start playing on the Wavestate. So everything that I do in the Wavestate now gets pushed through my mix. So I can change the performance dials on these particular patches. And then what I would do is to switch patches, I would bring the bass back together and I would just fade this out. And once it was faded out, I could change the MPC to Wavestate program number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are my options there for my Wavestate. One of my favorites is this one here. I'm going to switch the input port to use the MPC pads just to make it simple. I like this one a lot. Oops, it's still on Blofeld. can get a little tricky because it controls two things. So I'm going to turn that off right now and go back to the wave state. Oh, it's not working. Okay. Well, let's go over here. This is one of my favorite sounds. Oh, it's turned down. That's why. Sorry. Go back over here. So then I got my drum sounds from the Behringer Edge, which is a clone of the Moog Drummer from Another Mother, the DFAM. This is actually a clone, and you can see it's synchronized with the USB clock. So as it goes up, you can see it's going up. So let's listen to that then, real quick. So this is the synthesizer drum kit. Turn the cutoff down. I'm going to turn the noise down. So when you turn the noise down, you end up hearing more of the synth. So then this is your velocity. And this is your pitch. Turn them all up. That one was a bit harsh, so I don't necessarily like using that. It was a bit harsh. I used it a couple of times, but it's not my favorite. And then what I've done is I have programmed the JV-2080, which is this Roland sound MIDI box. And I have it on a user setting here, user jam 001 that I created. And then this one can also answer to 16 channels. So it's in perform mode right now, performance mode. So right now there are 16 different instruments, including channel 10 for drums. So I can play that. I've got that one programmed to use an ARP from MPC. So let's go back here. I'll show you. There's the 2080. Let's go to the arrangement, and you'll see it's playing an arpeggiator. Let's turn it up. So this is kind of how it grooves for a little while. And then what I want to do, I want to go to my mix and bring up my bass drum, a kick drum. So that's the basics, and then I've got a couple of controllers over here. I've got this Native Instruments Complete Control S49, I think. That's the Mark II. They have a new Mark III with only one screen. And then I have this digital stage piano, 88 key weighted digital stage piano that I bought back in 2000, the year 2000. And I'm using that strictly as a MIDI controller because I needed an 88 key MIDI controller, and I like the weighted keys. So I've got this one mapped over to the Crave, and I'll show you that. So this is the Behringer Crave. It's a clone of a Moog synthesizer, but I don't remember which one. And so it's set up right now it's set up right now to be the pads. And what I've got going, not a pad, kind of a drone sound. I've got it going through my Blackhole Reverb pedal, which is connected via MIDI to the MPC. So what that allows me to do is it allows me to go to the MPC screen, and I have a MIDI track dedicated to the Blackhole pedal. And then what you do is you just set the different programs. Like this is program 16, and so that changes the reverb for me. So we're on 16. Let me change it down to 1. Oh, it's not sending the message for some reason. Well, somehow I got it messed up, but it's not sending the MIDI to change the sound. But anyway, I used the 16 preset, and what that sounds like is gotta turn it up. So I've got this ducking on it. Let me turn the black hole back on. You'll hear what it sounds like. That's that. And then I've got an internal, I have an internal arpeggiator that I created, or that I set up, and that's going to be on track number 8. It's ARP 2. And if you'll take a look inside the MPC, if you look at the options here, the MIDI in is my complete control, and it's any channel on the complete control. So what I can do is I can then play this arpeggiator through the this one. So I'm going to play this. I'll turn it up. I have it turned down, sorry. ARP 2 is turned down. I'm going to turn it up. That. And what I ended up doing on my MIDI setup, we'll turn this down a little bit. We'll go to the MIDI settings here, take a look, our MIDI sync. You see I've got all these input ports. What I've done is I've set the complete control to control, and then I've set it on track, and then I set the MPC1, which is the MIDI DIN MPC1, it's the MIDI DIN input. That's set to track, and the MPC pads is set to track, and then the Wavestate is also set to track. And what that allows me to do is, it allows me to individually assign them to any one of these MIDI output devices. And so you'll see I have the Blofeld has a sync, so that syncs with a MIDI clock. The Edge also has a sync. Without the sync, the Edge will not advance. So it won't work if you don't give it the MIDI clock sync. And unfortunately, I can't sync the Crave, because when I sync the Crave and I hit start, it starts this internal sequencer on this thing, which is not what I wanted. So that is frustrating, right? But that's just the nature of it, I guess. And then, so now I can have all these output devices. And so what this allows me to do is, if I go to the main menu here, when I go into a sound, like this is ARP2, I go into, let's say I go into the Moog. And you'll see right now it has no MIDI output because I have a sequence recorded. So I'm not using any MIDI output, so there's no conflict. But this is the bass that I've got. Let me switch to a different track, a different sequence. Let me go to a different sequence. Okay, so let's go to the main. And so what that allows me to do is, once I get this set up, what I can do is on the Moog, I can change the MIDI import to, let's change it to the pads, MPC pads. And now, it's driving both it's driving the ARP too. I forgot what else I had on there. The Wavestate. Let me turn that off. Go down here to the Moog. Now it's MPC pad, so that's playing the Moog Grandmother. So that's the beauty of this. If I wanted to change it and use, let's say, use the complete control to drive it, I can do that. And otherwise, typically by default, all of your MIDI tracks are set to all ports, which isn't what I wanted, because that means everything that I touch affects it. I don't want that. I just want to specifically say, look, only work on the pads. So now it'll work on the pads, and then I can use the other controllers for something else, for another instrument. And typically what I'll do is, when I record a sequence on something, I'll turn the input port off so it doesn't have any MIDI input. It doesn't need MIDI input when you've got a sequence. So that saves, a little bit of space there. So ultimately I ended up with 3 separate MIDI keyboards. That's the complete control, the FP9 stage piano, and then the Wavestate. Effectively, for the Wavestate performance knobs to work, it has to be on local control. So with local control, when you press a key on the keyboard, it goes ahead and triggers what's on the Wavestate. So I had to put it on local control. So this is controlling the Wavestate at all times. It's kind of tricky because it's got local control, but it's still got a MIDI input of the Wavestate. So that was kind of the weird configuration. So the way I can do this now is I can go back here to perform. We'll go down to number 1, graviton waves, and we'll just trigger this sequence to start. So what that allows me to do then is set the performance dials. When I change the dial, it changes the sound. So the performance dials wouldn't work without the local control being on. So that was a challenge to get right. So that's basically it. I mean, and then everything. I'm sorry. The Crave goes through the Blackhole Reverb, to get those sounds, and then I have everything coming out of my mixer going to the line in the MPC. So it goes into the MPC as a input. And then I have these inputs are for my monitors, but my monitors went bad, so they're not attached yet. But then this is the secondary output. And I've got secondary output 3 and 4 for left and right channel to go over to my Focusrite 18i8 sound interface. And then this is connected to my computer. So the sound interface is connected to my computer, and then I use OBS Studio to broadcast without the input. So that's pretty much it. That's everything that I've got going, and kind of how I did the stream.